Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to IXION. In the last episode, we did a few little bitty unlockings of some of the, the story elements around the area. We've got the reactor, good lord speak, reactor wreckage unlocked, or cleaned out, done, destroyed command center, cleaned out and done, and we got the colonization experiment on EP42 loaded up and sorted so that we now have, well, we've gotten that little thing figured out. We also found out that anytime we complete one of the quest objectives or any one of the things over here, that the storm cloud that is slowly consuming this this system is moving across, and I think we believe we found that out to the point that we've actually lost a few ships. Unfortunately, we've lost a couple of our transport ships, but we've managed to keep all of our original, or at least our original science ships, and I would like to at least maintain to try to keep this one, at least this one, because it is a science ship tier 2, and the tiers means they do better work with less stuff or whatever. You get more science out of them when you send them out to do things. We are currently hanging around in the atmosphere around EP42 because of the fact that this is not part of the Etamananki. There is not a piece of it floating around, and, well, it's there to... by doing so, by moving to one of the two planets that you have readily available right off the bat, you can remove, of course, that one little bitty problem that we were seeing. I gotta go inside, I did it again, go in here. And I have to be careful which buttons I'm pushing because for whatever reason I have managed to shut my recording off twice today. So we're going to start over from scratch. We did manage to, by moving over here, remove a -1 from the spookiness of the fact that every single one of those pieces of the Etamananki, so all of these pieces that are floating around out here, have hundreds of millions, probably, or thousands, who knows, of corpses floating around them, and the people didn't like that. So it's essentially a kind of a graveyard, every single one of these pieces. The ship was absolutely massive. I mean, it's absolutely gigantic. So we do have some more things going on over here. We're going to touch on those in a little bit. I don't want to mess with them right now because the first thing I want to go do while we're thinking about it, since we have the extras parts, is I want to go ahead and get this started so that we can get this going, and I want to start on some science. Today we're going to crack open a new sector, and we're going to do some things with that sector, one of which is I want to start researching the exo-fighting dome. And that is going to allow us to do a couple of things. Today we're going to crack open another sector because we need to start making a kind of a place that we can just catch all some of these things that are causing us problems with being able to, well, advance forward with some of the stuff that's available to us. So in this sector here, we've hit space tier 2, which is great, that's wonderful, but there's some other things we can still do in here. We're using this sector as a kind of a storage room for people. We're also using it as a storage room to try to take care of some of the corpsicles, the cryogenic pods that we've got sitting around. And, well, we need to be able to kind of do things. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a new sector. We're going to build two things. We're going to build the health center. We're going to build the exo-fighting dome. The health center, by putting in a health center into your Tiqqun, once you get the capability of doing the health center and the train station. You do not want to build a health center before you build a train station. Put your train stations in, get your train stations going, get all that stuff done. Because what that will allow you to do, as it states, is capacity can heal up to 100 injured crew members, and those crew members can originate from any sector in the station, which means you can tear down all of the infirmaries, these things right here. The exo-fighting dome will allow you to provide a +2 stability in the sector for power and some workers. That sector, or that +2, can be shared across all of the sectors by the train station, or any sector that's connected with a train station. So it's a good way of getting another big chunk of stuff. Finally, what we're going to probably start doing if we have time is we're going to start putting some more of these memorials in places of things that are around, because we need to kind of try to kick this up a notch as far as stability is concerned. Now, as long as our stability, or I should say our happiness, we'll say like, where's this thing right here? We're currently sitting at a +4. As long as you're above 1, you're fine. But should something like, say, where is it? I think this sector does not have one. Did I put one in this sector? I'm pretty sure we did, right? That thing right here. So this alternative life center. This is +2 in this center because we've got this sector because we've put in the little thing here. However, it's costing us 6 power and 10 workers. Right now, I'm not really concerned about it because we've got plenty of workers, but that little spot right there could actually be utilized for something else. And that something else, I don't quite exactly think it's going to be completely fitting, but we can rearrange a few things to do some stuff. The memorials, we can look at them this way. Gets a +1 stability in a sector depending on what tech tree you're specialized in. So if, say, you're specialized in industry, if you put down a Marduk memorial, then you'll get a +2. If you go ahead and research this, then it'll be a +3. Well, this is an interesting thing because that's +3 for the parts pieces that it takes, plus a little bit of research, no humans, and no power. So I can get rid of this and save 6 power a sector plus 10 people. It's basically you build it once, it's in there, and it does the work for you. That will require a little bit of rearranging in this sector for sure. And for this one, yes. But it's one of those things that when you're looking at trying to maintain stability, it's a good thing to look at. I guess there is one right there. Did we ever build one in here? I guess we did. And, you know, for early on, since this is something that's easily obtainable, this one right now is mad at us because we don't have, what is it? It needs to have like 400 or... it needs to be, let me see, you're +2. I think the number was it needed to be like having at least 400 people in a sector. And that number advances to as you get more people in a sector. I think actually sector 1 should be a +3 or whatever the number is. Did we do that science? Where is that thing? Alternative Life Center. So again, you can say +1 stability in a sector while it has more than 800 crew. It's the same kind of a thing. It's a little bit smaller than a memorial, right? It's a little bit smaller than a memorial, but it costs power and people to keep them happy. So we'll worry about that later. Let's go ahead and crack open Sector 6. We're going to go ahead and kick the override locks open on that because we have a lot of people in here, and we're going to start moving all of the spares into this sector, like all of our colonists, all of the, where we're going to move the science building, we're going to move the colonization training center, we're going to move all of this stuff right here, likely maybe even move a couple other things. By doing so, that'll allow us to kind of use this sector as a kind of a catch-all should we need it or do whatever. But yeah, we can definitely do a little bit more work. Let's get to going on that. I'm going to press the button there to start the game, which it should start the game, and we're gonna kind of hopefully this won't be too terribly spooky. Let's go outside real quick and see if there's anything out here we need to look at. All right, in the last episode I clicked that button and I didn't read the thing, so I kind of reset just a little bit so that we can reread this thing. Storage area seems to be a battleground for a whole bunch of things. The reasoning why they say look for a source of yellow particles is the fact the contacts team also found some kind of random stuff floating around in, I think it's in here. Where is it? This is the industrial zone. Investigating area cryopods, locating cryopods. It's somewhere in here. It says something about there's some stuff floating around that they need to kind of try to go explore. So we'll go ahead and let them explore and find out what that actually was. Again, being very careful right now not to end something. I know that the collapsed food district is getting very close to ending something, and I want to make sure that all of my current carrier group guys in here don't have anything to pick up, so we'll do ahead and make sure that nobody's leaving. For right now, we may send some more people over here to pick some stuff up since we turned since we're going to be making a little bit more polymer. Let's go to Kruk P38. All right, I think we said we were going to do bore through the mountain. I'm a little bit back from where we left off at the last one, and I want to make sure that we're going to kind of do things the same way. So essentially what we need to do is we found a signal broadcasting from underneath the mountain. You can do a few things to figure it out. I'm just going to go ahead and get the mountain. We're just going to dig through the mountain and find out what's going on. And while we're here at the collapsed food production district, I don't want to leave yet. I'm going to leave that one sit there for right now, because as soon as I say leave, this is going to move again. So we don't want to be doing that right now, although it doesn't really terribly matter right now. We should be okay to kind of continue on. Did we get another sector opened up yet?
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
No, we got an accident in the Tiqqun, of course. How are we doing in here? I need to kind of keep an eye on this one because I've been having to...
Ship team has completed a task.
Good. The sector's open. I've been having to make sure that we keep shuffling people as we get to that point. Our food capabilities, as far as that sector is concerned, is 1,400 people for the current food capability, which is this mess hall. And we have storage enough for quite a few people. Plus, we're about done thawing them, so we'll just let them thaw out and get what they need to do. I'm going to leave it paused for a minute, and then what I'm going to do in between here, or we're going to take a break, I'm going to clean this mess out as we did before, and that, once we get a little bit more science here, we'll be able to do a couple of more things. Let's go see what happened with the industrial zone. The team followed a trail of yellow particles through the vacuum into another section of the Etsumenenki wreckage. It appears to have been at least partially spared from the destruction as we've seen elsewhere. The particles come from crushed and damaged flowers of yellow squash. A bed of these frozen plants surround a large bronze sculpture of depiction of Earth crowned with laurels. Many messages have been left near the structure, rallying against the perceived enemies of humanity, Dolos and the Ashigantes. A plaque at its base reads, "Against the cynicism that kills hope, against the madness which precipitates hell, to perpetuate the genius of humanity and the memory of our life on Earth." There's a compartment beneath the plaque which a sealed time capsule was found. It seems possible it could be opened. Kick it open, we'll find out what's in it. There's no point in leaving anything behind. We're never going back to our solar system. Well, unless this is just all a ruse and we're going to wake up one day and everything's okay. You're going to continue to work on Kruk. I'm going to go in here and start working on this sector, and I will see you all in a little bit. Okay, I think we're getting there. We almost have the Exo Fighting Dome researched, so we're going to carefully go ahead and remove this. We're going to do something fairly simple. We're just going to grid this out because a lot of this is not... We're just going to be stuffing houses and two big things in this. Pretty well, three big things in this. This is generally going to be fairly simple, fairly easy to work. With the amount of space you put in something like this, there's quite a little bit of room that you can put in here as far as these go. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the roads. I mean, you can get 6 of those across there, and that's a, you know, that's more than 600 people just in those domatic quarters. So again, yes, we're going to build domatic quarters because of the simple fact that they're going to make sure that the people in this sector are very happy. We're going to be demolishing these things because we will not need them. Actually, I think almost everything on that back row is going to get demolished. And I know it's working, it's functional, but I might actually do a lot better job on some of this here fairly soon. Once we remove these, I might start working at trying to do a little bit more of this in here. It's kind of this constant jigsaw Tetris puzzle that you're playing, that you look at it and you go, yeah, well, this works for right now, but once I remove a couple of things that I don't really need, I want to try to regain that space. And that is not quite the exact amount of space that I need, but it is enough space that I could put 2 more batteries, say. So, you know, it's just one of those things you kind of work at. And if I move everybody that's unnecessary out of this sector into this one, well, then that means I can get rid of, well, that, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus some of the people that are in here. Because essentially, like I say, this sector's only job is ever going to really be to just make food. And we're doing okay on that. We could be doing considerably better. In here as well, we've got a lot of storage because of the fact that this was the place where we were thawing people out. And now I can move some of this out. If I really want to, I can move this, place another one of these down in here, move this. I think if I remember correctly, I can get another 1 or 2 of those down here. We can we can thin this center section out by a block or a pixel or whatever you want to call it. We can make this section a little bit smaller than what it is currently and get 2 of these in here, which means if I dump all of the excess people out of here, I can make this my spaceport kind of area where we're bringing in nothing but stuff for everything else and then deliver it to the other sectors as needed, because we now have the drone thingies, of which we don't have any in here, but these I thought I had one in here. Yeah, it's right there. These drone bays, as we upgrade these drone bays, they get better and better and better and better and better at moving things faster than any of the stockpiles and the little things, the little carts and the things that go out of those stockpiles. So towards the end of endgame, or towards middle to endgame, you really need to be focusing on transporting things using drone bays. So yeah, we're going to start working on that. We're going to start doing a few other things. Let's see. Everything in here should be sufficiently working. Yeah, we're full up on steel, so we can build a whole lot of stuff. let's go ahead and plunk in that thing. I just got done building the train center, so here's the fun part. And it is a kind of a thing that kind of tends to be a little stupid, glitchy anyway. So let's see. I want this. Now, I'm going to save these outer edges. These outer edges, we'll be able to stuff all kinds of excess people in here. We are going to be moving some things. So the first thing I want to do is I want to build that. And then we're going to wait on this to get up. I'm going to wait actually to move this, but we are going to go ahead and destroy this and this and this because we don't need them right now. They're going to get moved to the point that, like, I might even start moving some of this other stuff out of here. We do need to have some kind of happiness for these people, so we need to actually probably think about moving some people. And they're making all those houses for us. Wonderful. Actually, let's pause this one, and 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 this. I need that built first, please. Oh, and I need to make sure you're getting all of this stuff in here. So let me see. Sector 3 is where we're making them, correct? Sector 3 is where we're making the chips. Or we were making the chips, yes. So Sector 3, it doesn't need to be carrying 10. It can carry... I think the only thing I wish right here is that there was a box that I could click that would, you know, move this to the specific length that I want. But we'll make sure, like, everybody is... Let's just say everybody's 5. No, 5. For now. Because that's all we're going to need for the most part in any one of these things. How many people do we currently have chilling out in Sector 5 that are not being happy right now? Let's see. People... We have plenty of people sitting there. The thing is, this is not going to take a lot of people to do what we need to do, which is really, really nice. Let's move... Well, let me see. I think it takes 50 workers for this thing. Yeah, so we're going to need at least... let's shoot 100 workers over to here. We're going to have to kind of play around a little bit with this because it's going to be a little funky for just a little bit. So, only workers Sector 6 to Sector 5. And these are really fast now because we have the... Oh, let's do 50 for right now. Start migration. These are really, really, really fast now. Watch this. Because of the fact we have the trains, they happen in less than a cycle now.
Population transfer complete.
It's amazing. So once they get that built, we'll be good to go there, and we should be okay. Again, this sector is kind of full of some excess people, but we do need to make sure that we're not being too silly about moving things around. Once this other stuff gets torn down, okay, so this is torn down, that's torn down, I can actually go ahead and remove this. I'm going to place in, since this is our space section, what did I want? I forget. Space is industrial, I believe. So we should be able to put in a Marduk Memorial in here and gain another point. So let's see, stability, food, factories, population, stability, Marduk, that one. And I may even push that one clear back. I don't know just yet. We're going to leave it right. Let's do that. And draw a line from here to there. All right. As soon as they get that built, that'll give them a little bit more happiness in Sector 1. So currently our happiness in Sector 1 is 4. As soon as that's built, it should go up to a 5. So we're going to kind of try to work on some happiness today, hopefully, especially if we can get this Exo Fighting Dome up and running. We have plenty of spare workers to shovel around, and hopefully we can make some usable stuff out of here. All right, there it is, Exo Fighting Dome, and we're going to be able to watch this. Now, like I said, no workers, no power, just stuff.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Because it's just what happens in the Tiqqun. That adds an extra +1 in this sector. Now, if we were to, like, again, research the next thing for this, that'd be a +2. And in which case, I could get rid of this thing if I want to. Right now, we've got plenty of excess people working, and I think that's the biggest thing is like early on, you're having a really hard time trying to get enough workers to do all the work, but eventually you end up with so many extra people you don't know what to do with. So this one is going to get ready to come online. I actually want to shut this off and let them build it first just to make sure that we don't accidentally blow something up. It does cost an awful lot of power, but that's 40 power right now. 40 power to house, once we turn it on, 100 people, and their recovery is considerably faster in this thing than it is in any one of these. So 40 power, well, we've got, I forget, it's 3 each in every sector, 2 each in every sector, so it's going to be 6 power per sector, so we're not going to quite gain the power back. But when we turn this on, we're going to get some people back, and they're going to heal a lot faster. So let's make sure we're okay. 90, 79, so we're short 10. Yeah, we're okay. Turn it on. All right, there's nobody in it right now. I'm pretty certain we have somebody here, and there's a lot of people right there, and a lot of people right there. They're going to get lifed out of this sector, out of all of these sectors, into a single area, and hopefully we don't have more than 100 people currently hurt, which I don't think we do. And go. That's a decent chunk of, for one, real estate, power, and whatever back. Bang. So we currently have 28 people that are not feeling good. But the thing is if you watch the difference between a infirmary and this thing, I can actually watch them get better. I mean, it's kind of barely noticeable, but they take considerably fewer cycles to heal, which means, should they slip and fall, they're back to work within a couple of cycles, instead of 10 or 15 or whatever the number was before. So there's going to be a lot of people that have been hanging. Like I said, it only holds 100 people, but they're going to heal a heck of a lot faster. So that means your sick people are going to be going back to work very, very, very quickly. All right, so with that being said, now we need to turn this on. Let them finish building that house because we're going to start slowly populating this sector. I have 619 alloy. We're currently making it out of trash, and again, the more people that we have sitting in a building that's producing trash, the better off we're going to be as far as making things work in the long run. I do believe we unlocked the Nahi protocol there. Yes, so good. It's just these things are kind of garbage as far as, footprint versus how much they hold. They're roughly the same area as one of these.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
I mean, they're granted, that's the other problem that I don't like about them is that they have to be against the wall. But if you look at the space footprint, it's like 2 by whatever this is. They're, what is that, 8? They actually take up more space. Or it's roughly about the same. So 2 by 8 versus 3 by 6. So yeah, they're roughly about the same space. But these can be placed anywhere. And they give your people a whatever, they give them a +3 or +2 or +3 bonus. So it's another one of those, it's worth to build these over these. These are good for storing a lot of, junk people. But once you have we're going to try to dedicate this sector to population so that we can get that going. Specifically, actually, I need to go ahead. How much those people hold? That one is 3 people. We'll go ahead, build one of those really quickly. Where's the DLS? It's under stability. That can go right. Oh, hey, you just get so torn down. Yes. And while we're at it, click, no, click, and goodbye. Quit clicking the wrong button. Yes, I know. I think we can do this with tab across all. No, it's just power. Have to delete them this way, and okay. So that's going to be an awful lot of stuff coming back as far as materials. Like I say, those are 40 a piece plus 3 power a piece. So like I said, we ended up saving, well, we didn't save any power, but we're going to continue to move on with this idea. So now that we have the colonization system going and the cryonics gone, that's going to give us this. Now that the science is over with, I want to This is going to be one of the next things we're going to move. And I also want to go ahead and lay down the Exo Fighting Dome. I think we'll put it front and center. Right there. Let's put it against the wall. That way, if I feel like I need to put anything in that line right there, we can. This takes a lot of power, too. An awful lot of power. And a lot of stuff. And a lot of material. It's going to eat up a lot of our material. But that's going to give everybody in the entire station a +2. Not to mention just these people in here. So we're going to kind of slowly work on some of this. I'm going to have to be very careful not to run out of materials here. So that's kind of why I broke some of this stuff down. Plus, we don't necessarily need to be training colonists right now as well. All of that stuff's going to get ripped down, and I might just leave this here for right now. But I do believe if I cared enough, I can... If I do a little bit of narrowing up on this, which I can, we can place in another one of these docking bays right here, and I think I can get another one right there. So we're going to do a little bit of a rework right down here in this section. Eventually, I'm going to kind of trim this core center section out of here. For that matter, I mean, I can get rid of this DLS center. I don't need it anymore now that I've hit what I needed in this section. There's a lot of things we're going to be able to get rid of as we go. So let's see here. I think with all that being said, I'm going to let this build up, and then I'll bring you guys back once this thing is online and functional. Alrighty, it looks like it's getting built. We're going to have to be careful once again, make sure that we have plenty of people. I already moved quite a few people over here, and as soon as they're done, I want to have them start working on that. And that was me rebuilding a drone building in another room, another sector. And why did you... This is high priority. Stupid thing. Build this one first. Yeah, I want you to build that one first, please. All right. Now this, currently off because of the fact that it's not necessarily need to be turned on right now, but this is going to net us, given the fact that every single one of these sectors is connected, with the trains. As you can see, there's a train right there floating across the top. If I turn that on and I do this, that ate quite a bit of power for sure. But now... we're in a sector here that only has, like, just a bonus of this, the housing, and that, which is a sector of 3. This sector, so say sector 6, now has a bonus of 3. Wait a minute, we're not, this is sector 3? Sector 3? Why are you only, oh, it's because we're missing a few things, aren't we? Yes, sector 7, say sector 1 here, is +7 because of the fact that we have all of that goodness sitting up there. So +3 from people living in a mostly Domitic quarter, +2 an alternate life center, +2 from the Exo Fighting Dome, +2 from propaganda, +1 from the Marduk Memorial, which is right there, +1 from the train station, and +1 from the health of the integrity of the hull being over 25%, and +1 from the dog. So we're quite a ways into being reasonably okay. So some of this is going to be a little different, you know, because of the fact we don't have, like, say, we don't have a memorial in this one. We don't have a memorial in this one, and I moved this so that it made a little bit more sense. But again, we're going to be able to do a little bit more work now, and we're going to be able to make things a little bit better. This sector is going to specialize in population. This is where we're going to start building our excess population. This is where we're going to start moving all of our colonists, all of our non-workers, and this is where they're going to go. The cryonics setup, we're going to get the cryonics facility rebuilt. We're going to be shoving cryopods into this sector, and then we're going to be sorting them from here. We have one more sector to open up, and, well, we may or may not need to on this run. It's just dependent on how many cryopods we end up with. I'm going to go with this no one left behind thing. So if we have a cryopod, aside from it being, you know, unless it's something stupid or, you know, whatever, unless it's something that's going to be just horribly game breaking, no cryopod left behind from here on out. We're bringing every cryopod we can get our hands on with us, which means we may end up with 2 sectors being totally, completely populated with stuff. So I don't know. We'll find out. I may end up making another space sector. Like maybe we'll make another space sector right here and we'll use it as storage. And so we can have 2 space sectors. I would really, really like to move these 2 docking bays out of this area. But I think for right now, what I'm going to be doing in between episodes is we're going to finish out this layer of houses back here. And we're going to be shoving all of the unnecessary, unusable, non-working, and colonists into this sector. So that means, well, I think there's a number. I think there's a way of seeing it, right? Not really. I thought there was a way to add all that up. There might be somewhere else. But we have an awful lot of non-working people that we have to store. And we're going to make every single one of those non-working people a colonist so that when and if we ever end up getting to the end of where we need to go, we'll have a whole pile of people that can, well, test and do whatever it is that we need to do, because they're grooming us for things in the future. At least that's what I'm assuming they're doing. So we'll find out. Probably very soon, once we get about 3,000 customers, 3,000 people, we should be able to get rid of this thing almost completely. So that's why I'm kind of not harvesting the ice right now. Because as soon as we use up all of this ice and we use up all of this water, again, that's going to be some leftover space we'll be able to get rid of, and we can start importing trash into here, and we can start using this thing right here, the water treatment center, which will provide water to fulfill every cycle. So we'll just have to keep that thing full of trash, or at least it needs 25 waste every cycle to fulfill the water needs of our current growing sector, which we should be able to easily accomplish. Anyhow, I think for now, we'll call it right there. Next time, we're going to go ahead and work a little bit more on the externals. There's 2 more things over here that I probably should actually have somebody go grab that steel now that we need it. Why don't you go get that? We'll send somebody over there to go get this steel. I don't know how much ice is still there. And we still have a couple of more of these things. So I may go ahead and try to harvest this stuff before we touch any more of these over here. But probably in the next episode, we are going to see this this cloud move even further and take over some more of our ships. So I guess for now, I'm happy. We've got another sector open. We've got a population that we're starting to work on. And if you hit Alt, you can actually see it. And we have, well, 1 more sector left. So pretty good. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.